seeing why they did the things they did. And he used to tell me about how my dad talked about how so when he was in secondary school they cheated. They cheated. So after he became born again, him and his friends went and told WAEC people. Yes, they did it and then they like had to rewrite. But for them, they felt that it was something that they had to do. Do you understand? Like it was a testimony that they had to live. I'm not saying that everybody should go and do that, but like everybody has that.
On stage that they cheated in the exam and the Lord,
You can't try. They won't say it. They'll be like, wisdom. Let me say so. Like it's almost as if like some people say, oh, we're in modern times. Like, are you funny? Like people, they have been believers since thousands of centuries ago, and the standard hasn't changed. Why must it change in our own generation for you? Like, why must it change for you so you can do what you like? So you can, live how you want to live. Like, let's be real, let's be realistic. There's nothing real about being a Christian. And sorry, one last thing I would say before I give the mic to someone else. People talk about how, like, let's be real. I think we have not been honest about what Christianity is. We make it seem like you can be normal and be a Christian, but it's not true. There's nothing normal about praying and talking to something and someone that you cannot see. Or telling somebody, you see that your wedding, I cannot come home. Like, it doesn't make sense. But Jesus literally said you must not have father or mother. I think he was playing. Like, he knew that everybody that he wanted to follow him had to be people that are willing to take up their cross. Like, those things, it used to scatter your ear. You realize the density of what he's asking of you. It's not light. But we make it seem like, you wake up, you just have faith and just, like, it's like a drop in the water of what the gospel is. And it's for a greater good. It's not that God is a taskmaster. It's because he wants to give us a higher level of life that obviously you cannot get when you're here. So... Yes, like, oh my God.
I feel landed.
I really hope
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Very, very good observations. So we'll still hear what different people have to say. Very good observations. I love it. And I'll just qualify a couple of things that you said. So she doesn't say we shouldn't have father or mother. Say you must hate your father and mother. And that is before someone will go and carry gun. Not you, God forbid. Their fathers, yeah. You say and that hatred, it was saying when you compare your affection for them to your affection for him, it will look as if you hate them. So I like the fact that you cited that, wedding party scenario, that God can say to you, you're not going for that wedding. Now, in our generation, people are still struggling not to wear ashwebi. Right? So this one you're talking about, don't go for wedding. They're already inside. All right, that's that. But let me also say something. My own observation and study, this is what I would say. It's not the size that is the problem. Because again, the early church, they started 120 apostles, day of Pentecost, the Spirit of God was poured out. There was a massive crowd, 3,000 were saved. The church began to grow and all. And then eventually they started meeting in houses. But then after a while, you started the early church, they grew and then they grew and they grew. So they still ended up with the crowds. Anything that is healthy is going to grow. So like your house fellowship, the truth is if you're going to be disciplers, you replicate, right? And more people are going to come and they're going to grow. So if your cozy fellowship will become like the big church. Yeah, it's like, it's a mitosis it's called in biology. What do you study? Was it chemical engineering? That was not in Nigeria. Oh really? Okay, communications. There's there. I started chemical engineering. Yeah. So I think it's mitosis. Mitosis, right? Where the cells splits and then it multiplies. So even your own body when you are conceived all of us were invisible. And then we say growing. Then look at you now, so large, so you can no longer fit into your mom's womb. Nicodemus, shall a man go back into his mother's womb and all? So, and that is a picture of the church. We're supposed to grow. So it's not the size, it is the sort. Now, part of what I was saying earlier is because big markets itself. That's the truth. Anything that is big markets itself. No matter how conservative you are, let me give an example. You're conservative and all, you're not moved by money, you're not moved by that. Somebody comes and says, this year I've won 300 souls personally. It gets your attention. So even though his souls are not money, because it's big, it still gets your attention. Right? Somebody says, I used to spend maybe 500K in the club every month. So I would do it every day now. Do you remember? Investment, yeah. Like the club, like half a night is vaporized, right? I used to spend saying, and what we need to really look at is the heart. The heart, and that's the first thing God deals with. With the heart man believes, and then with the mouth confession is made on salvation. I'll take out their hearts of stone and give them the heart of flesh. And so you're right, we talk about at different times that people who will be on an early morning prayer meeting and give because they're expecting a miracle or something in their lives, but the local church where they are fed and taught and groomed and chastised and corrected, there's nothing going on there. Or the private charities that nobody even knows about, there's nothing going on there. So let me ask somebody else, and then what you think about it. You're in this house fellowship now. It's going to grow if you do it right. If you do it the kingdom way it's supposed to grow. We see Jesus grow. The people that are around him, he isolated himself and then went up the mountaintop and prayed all night and then called to himself 12 whom he named apostles, right? And then from the 12, 72, 120, 5,000, the crowds, if you do it God way, the crowds will come. How do you manage the quality? How do you do quality control? Because I think that's really where the issue is, the challenge is, right? In replication, even in business. Understand? Then all of a sudden the front desk secretary or the front desk person in your Abuja branch is acting like how do you do it?
Well,